show before I got it. So I sort of feel like one of you guys, but I got to infiltrate, which was great fun. What appealed to me most, sort of watching, is just the world. The world is, I don't know, it's so rich and sensual, and I just think Alan Ball is just such a fantastic writer, and so he really is, I think, great at bridging the gap between sort of poignancy and absurdity, and that's, I think, what the show is going for it, and it's what's really fun to be in for me.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Boy, it is. There's so many good things about it. It's hard to pick kind of the top good things. But you know, one of my favorite, I mean, playing Pam was great. It's such a great character. And another thing I love about it is, you know, it comes down to the day. You know, that day you show up at 5 or whatever time, or 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. is when you start your day. And you're going to hang out with these people for 12 hours, 17 hours or something. And that makes up, you know, your work life, the actual day. So it's total, and we do that for like 7 months before it airs. So we're in this little bubble going to our office. And if that is an unpleasant environment, you know, it helps that you're getting a paycheck and you can eat, and also people are enjoying it 8 months later. But it's a huge difference, like all of you know, because you all go someplace to work. And if you're working with people that you enjoy, it's a whole nother ball game than if you've got some pain in the ass people. And we don't have any pain in the ass people at Fantasia.
Is the implication there that Merlot's is a bunch of pain in the ass?
I know, I'm curious. How's it Merlot's? Because right now
it's like, Sam is such a dick.
I mean, it's like, everyone's so great.
I remember my first day at work, actually, because it's really tough when you're like the new kid at school and it's this established shit. And so I sat with Bridget, and who's the head makeup, who's just phenomenal. And I said, so you get the best scuttlebutt always when in acting, you know, from hair to makeup, right? So I said, okay, so how is everyone really? And she's like, everyone is just phenomenal. And I was like, come on. Never is everyone phenomenal. And she said, no, I swear to you, there's really no bad apples. And if they are, they don't last long.
Right?
So yeah, it's really not bullshit. I swear, I always used to hear actors say these things, and I thought, oh, they're such liars. But
most of the time we are.
Yeah.
But in this case, we're not. It's just a fun day.
It's a cool group of people. Everyone is very grateful to be there, I would say.
Chris Bauer is amazing.
He's fantastic. Yeah. He's great.
Yes, in the back.
What was your favorite episode so far? For me.
In the whole series, or this season, or?
Either or, just whatever. What was your favorite so far for you?
For me, it was the finale this year. It was really fun to be a fairy. A fairy who kicks some ass.
Oh, yeah.
I would say that for me, for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, you know, because the finale was a really great episode, like so good and so great to watch, and I loved everybody's storyline in it. And I had one day where I was in the messed up face, and I was just in Steven's house all day, Bill's house rather, and we had this scene in his office, you know, where I go and say, I want permission to kill that uppity wicked cunt. And that whole day, right? And then I go, Your Majesty, which I just thought it was so much fun, and it was just kind of great, because a lot of times...
You mentioned Suki's vagina a lot.
Right, Suki's vagina is good. That's always fun. But it was, yeah, gash in a sundress is nice. That's right. But I really, you know, a lot of the scenes that I do are huge with a lot of people in them, and they're split up, they're shot in tiny pieces, and the day is really long, and there's no excitement, you know, shooting it. It's fun, and we have a great time, and the acting is fun, but it's not like watching it. I mean, that whole sequence outside Moon Goddess, and we're getting pulled into the force field, was for us 5 nights, 5 p.m. to 5 a.m., and we're just, what are we doing now? you know, tiny piece after tiny piece. So that day for me with Steven was fun.
Yeah.
Because it was just two people.
The two people scenes are great.
Two people scenes feel good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes.
From the time you do the shooting to the time that it goes on the air, do you see it in between, or do you see it when everybody else?
You see little bits when you do ADR, which is basically, you know, when you go in and if a line was lost during shooting or something, you redo it. But other than that, no, we don't see like full episodes.
Right.
So are you surprised at things that you see later?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And again, I'm watching Lauren's scenes
Yeah.
and everyone else's scenes totally for the first time. I wasn't even there that day.
Yeah.
So I'll see people in the parking lot.
We all get together for the table reads, and that's the only time really the cast is ever all together. And then, you know, takes about 12 days to shoot an episode, a little longer for the finale, a lot longer actually.
Right.
But yeah, so if you're not in each other's storylines, you know, you sort of hear it at the table, and then you have no idea what it's going to look like until you see it. So that's kind of fun.
I think what's great is you can really tell you guys genuinely love this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it comes through. It's really awesome.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Next question. Yes.
What's been your best experience on the show so far, or dealing with the show? Like, show or fans or whatever?
Oh, yes, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Shooting the show, you mean? Or?
Oh, like shooting
Just being on it.
dealer fans or anything.
Having a job is nice for an actor.
Yes.
You know, a job that continues is pretty great.
Yeah.
And then also this job. And I had a funny moment. I went to, my TV, I bought in 1995. Everyone laughs at my TV. It's like got the big bubble front. It's like 3 feet deep, weighs like 500 pounds. You know? And I've been saying, you know, people come over and laugh at me, and I go, who cares? You know, I can still make out like who it is. But we're right next door to Best Buy where we shoot, and I was early. So I went in there to kill time, went by Starbucks, and went in there, and I'm like, oh, I guess, I don't know, could look at TVs, I suppose. God, they're so weird looking, you know, to me. And the guy starts giving me the spiel, and there's like 100 TVs. Well, while he was giving me the spiel, the True Blood, it was right before we premiered. So it was this whole 30-minute promo and interviews with me and everybody and shots of the show. And as he's saying, well, the difference between LCD and LED, I'm like, And he kept looking at the TVs and looking back at me. So he'd look at Pam and then look back at me. And this went for 20 minutes and he never knew.
Quite got it.
He never saw. And I'm looking around going, this is kind of a funny moment in my life. Is anyone else witnessing this with me? Never.
That's hilarious.
We'll wrap up with you for one more question, if that's fine, because it's we got about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So one more question.
Scenes where you have to make like faces that you're afraid or you're being devious or anything. Do you ever have any scenes where you just start laughing and it's hard to film and you have to stop? Are there any ones that come to mind?
I'm not a big do you crack up a lot? I'm not a big...
I'm pretty strong, but most everyone's laughing at me.
Once in a while, you know, if it's 3 in the morning and you are, you know, watching, I remember one time just watching just the surreality of our jobs. And so watching, I remember, I think it was Alex, you know, this giant Nord, and he had Fiona Shaw, who was just, you know, I was in awe of, and I think and she was just going, woo, like that. And I think it was right at the beginning, and she was getting bit, and I remember, and they were doing our coverage, and we had to all be like, oh, like, and I think I might have had like, you know, 3 seconds of having to just completely lose it, and then be like, wait, come back, bring it back, bring it back. But I haven't, I'm not a big, because some people are notorious for the giggles. Sometimes if Anna gets going, she's hard to turn
And
off.
it gets me going.
Yeah, it can spread.
Yeah, I'm not usually the first to laugh, but I have laughed so hard. We just have the most ridiculous moments because you're so tired.
Yeah, yeah.
But us getting pulled into the force field It was pretty damn funny. Because it got to the point.
We had that too when
You
we
did.
were, they kind of trapped us before we had zapped us back in, and it was there was nothing there. So it really felt like acting when we were in like a really lame acting class, and you have to sit
Right.
back because you really have to be like,
Yeah.
you're like acting this all out, but there's nothing there, and you feel like a complete idiot.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
And I said to Alex and Steven, because the director said, all right, so let's shoot the next part where you guys are being pulled into the force field. So you're being pulled in, but you're fighting it. And you know you're going to die, but it's, dragging you. And we're like, And I go, any idea how to do that? And he said, no, let's just try something. And I looked at Alex and Steven, and they were already like this at me. And I said, can we have a pact where we don't laugh at each other? And they went, no. And I had to go first. It was Deborah and Mala, probably the nicest person on earth.
Yes.
Was laughing so hard at me that she was crying. Her neck was wet with tears.
What I'm going to do is for, before you have to leave, if you two ladies can stand up and people can